Well, hello, everybody. Here we are. Today's the day. It's the launch.
We finally made it.
I feel the big engine starting to push out. Hey, we're about to take off, man. This is awesome.
That's right.
Remnant Revealed, brand new podcast, biblical perspective of policing. I'm excited about it. What we've spent about a year, January, we started, and we spent about a year getting this thing ready, getting it prepared to launch. My good friend Rick Snyder, you have 25 years of law enforcement background, and most of that is working with police officers and their families during very critical moments of life.
That's right. So 25 years of policing experience, but also many of those years representing fellow officers and their families in various ways, but also getting that behind the scenes perspective of what's really going on, not just, we all think about just how it affects us personally, right? And how the job affects us personally.
Right.
But actually getting to see behind the scenes in the lives of your fellow officers and their families, in the really great positive things that happen, but also the struggles that are natural, that are human, but also are somewhat unique due to the profession and what these folks, these women and men, are willing to do on behalf of their communities.
On behalf of their communities. And first of all, let me say, on behalf of the community and our nation, thank you so much for all of your life. 25 years is a long time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for what you have sacrificed and given, not only for the cause of law and righteousness, but also on behalf of your brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Thank you for all the stress and pressure that we put on you as our community. We're so very thankful for what you do.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that. I get the distinct honor of walking amongst heroes. And that's probably the coolest thing about this profession, this calling that all of us have sensed in our lives, or else we wouldn't be doing it.
That's right. That's right.
Nobody does this for the money, that's for sure. Nobody does it for
applause.
No,
that's for sure.
Popularity,
right?
But because they feel this innate calling upon their lives to do something that, quite frankly, isn't natural, isn't normal.
That's
running
right.
toward the danger instead of away, standing the line between good and evil, putting yourself in harm's way. And as we all know, we raised our right hand, swore an oath to God Almighty.
God and the Constitution.
That's right.
Yep.
And then in doing so, on that day, said, hey, we're willing to lay down our lives.
So that brings up really the reason we started this podcast called Remnant Revealed, because we do understand that because the dynamic of policing and who police officers are really set apart and different from just your average human being. And that reason is because God has called them to do this great job.
Right.
They do have a deep purpose, bringing back the perspective of the deep spiritual output of officers that is overlooked many times through wellness or other things that take place. We are here and starting this podcast to say we recognize that the warrior spirit on the inside of every officer, male or female, is placed there by God with that call. And with that comes certain struggles, sometimes certain issues that we want to speak to.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage. You got 25 years of law enforcement experience. I've got almost 30 years of ministry and chaplaincy experience and working in the sheriff's department, police departments. I'm literally with officers just about every day of my life.
That is true.
And have worked and walked with them through every kind of situation and every kind of moment, it seems, in life, from marriages to counseling to officer-involved shootings to, sadly, officer suicides.
That's right.
Our heart here is not to be Bible thumpers. That's not what we're going to do. Not interested in doing that at all. We're really interested in providing a deep moment of hope and care and love and passion, that you can have hope and peace on the inside, even though you're dealing with a crazy world that has no peace and has gone mad on the outside.
Well, and, you say, as you talked about, you've been doing this for 30 years. I've been doing it for 25 years. And I think it's safe to say we're both in agreement that we have never seen times like the ones that we're in for not just the profession, but for our country and for everything that we're going through. But also when we talk to folks who have plowed the ground that we stand upon today.
That's right.
For decades before us, the ones that are still around and able to tell us to a person, I've never seen it like this.
I'm thinking about chaplains that I've known that's got 35, 40 years invested. That's their life. Some of them did this as a career, full-time, professional. Others are volunteer and have long periods of time working with officers and the community. And they'll tell you, we have never seen it this severe, where the crush to demoralize, absolutely devastate officers and break them is open, blatant, in your face, in media, in the public, in schools, everywhere. And to try to still do your job, which has enough stress of its own, but then also understand and take on that now you're hated instead of loved, though you come to save lives and save the day. That's just a difficult moment in life. So I'm glad we're doing this. Excuse me. Because I think between the two perspectives here.
That's right.
Right? I think we have some answers to life that not only officers, but their families, their loved ones, their children, their spouses, their significant others can listen to, receive, and get something that will help their life and help them do their job better.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. As you were saying, in our nation right now, no other time than this have our officers been so dehumanized, demonized, demoralized, right? All with the
D
purpose,
words.
all with the purpose of destabilizing our communities. If we destabilize our police, we can destabilize the communities in which they serve. And what our officers and what we have seen, especially in recent years, is that they have resolutely stood the line, but not without a cost. And, in the law enforcement profession, we do a great job focusing on physical wellness. We do a great job, a much better job now. Some areas a great job on focusing on the mental, emotional wellness of our officers. But I'm here to tell you, my friend, that at some point we all come to the realization that something is still missing in this overall formula. And invariably, whether you like it or not, it comes back to this void that can develop within your spirit. And when you have that void in your spirit, you start losing the spirit of that officer, that meekness, as we like to talk about, which is power under control.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
It's not weakness, it's meekness, which means if you need to exercise that power, authority, or those skills, abilities, tactics, all those things, make no mistake.
It's there.
That can be done. But with that comes the under control component, in which we're protectors and guardians of our communities, unless somebody crosses that line, and we have to defend that. But here's the deal. That takes a toll on our officers. It definitely takes a toll on their families. And time again, what I find through my own personal experiences is, like so many others that have come before me and that are going to come after me and that I walk amongst, I came to the realization that I cannot do this on my own.
That's right.
I can't survive this on my own. This job will chew you up and spit you out if you allow it. And knowing that, we say, hey, make sure you're physically good. Make sure that you're mentally, emotionally good now. But not many people want to talk about that spiritual aspect. And I want to make clear, we're being very deliberate through our experiences, and where we don't have the answers, but we know where we can point folks to.
Where the answers are.
That comes from this biblical perspective. And it's time that some folks start to stand up and at least point our officers in that direction to at least give them the opportunity find and discover that hope for themselves.
Absolutely. We talk about building a house. You don't start building the walls and put the roof on. You start with the foundation.
There you go.
So you can pretty up the walls, you can pretty up the roof, but if you don't deal with the cracks in the foundation, that whole house is coming down. It's going to show up.
And haven't we been seeing that?
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Rick and I trust that you heard something that will help your life. And if you believe that it would help others, please make sure and share. Like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you can be notified when the next podcast is available. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.